You can go ahead and say hi. Good morning. I'm Mary. Good morning, I'm Linda. You know, you wait to the last minute to do a couple of things, and that's what I was doing, is grabbing some stuff out of the refrigerator. Welcome to our Pinky Mo's Cakes, Cookies, and Candy, also known as Pinky Mo's Sisters in the Kitchen. And we are the sisters, in case anyone's new and can't see that we're sisters. We are sisters. Yeah. The gray-headed one is me, and I'm the youngest, and Mary is 17 months older than I am. So welcome. We are doing ham dumplings today, and you know, if you make dumplings, at least where I'm from, you got to have cornbread to go with it. So I'm actually making this for a friend of mine who lives over in town, but we are going to just sample it too. So Mary, I think we're going to get started with mixing up the dumplings, because they need to set just a tiny bit before we.
Let me use this cup that's in here.
Yes, please. Just use that's in there. And I put my whisk over there, so I need to grab another whisk.
Well, this is all-purpose flour, 4 cups. That's 2. Three. 4.
Thank you, Mary. And we're going to need some more of that, but we won't. We'll wait till later to do it. And so if you'll give me some baking powder and some salt.
Okay.
Now, if you've never made ham dumplings before, Mommy used to make ham dumplings, and she made ham dressing.
Yes,
and she always made it Thanksgiving and Christmas, or maybe even Easter. She made it.
Yeah.
And
2 tablespoons of baking powders.
Thank you. And I've always loved ham. Ham is just something that has a great flavor to it. I will tell you that we're using ham base today to go in the stock, and it's very salty. So you have to be real careful about not getting your ham base too salty.
This is 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt.
It's 2, Mary.
Oh, it's 2?
Yeah.
Okay, I looked at that wrong.
Okay. And
2 teaspoons.
You might think, well, why are you putting salt in the dumplings? You need the salt in the dumplings. Because if you've ever tasted of something that just had a flat taste to it was because it did not have salt in it.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so I just whisk this all together so you don't get a big blob of baking powder or salt. And then Mary is going to pour the milk in there.
2 cups and 4 tablespoons.
And it's whole milk. I think I'm just going to get a spoon or a fork to mix that up, Mary.
That's 1 1/4. I mean, 1. Well, that is a 4th. The 4 tablespoons is a 4th. So 2 cups and a 4th of whole milk.
And the reason I guess I should wait till I get over there.
I'm not that good at making dumplings. I guess it's because I don't. I've never really eaten a lot of dumplings.
I love
And Linda,
dumplings.
That's her favorite
love
dish.
Dumplings. So you see, it looks like a lot of milk, but when you get that flour all stirred in, it's going to take it. So we want these to rest just a little bit, and that's why I'm mixing these up first. And this is kind of a wet dough, so you're going to need more flour when you roll these out. You see how that's coming together? It looked like it was way too much milk in there, didn't it?
It did. It's quite wet.
But it is a wet dough, so we're just going to let this hang out here for a minute, and then we'll use our bench scraper to pour it over on the board. I'm actually going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on top of this. I'm going to move this out of the way. And then we'll put some on the pastry mat when we get ready to roll them out. Now we're going to move over here to the stove, and I'm going to show you what I've got over here, and then we'll come back here. We're going to be going back and forth today, so I hope y'all can follow us. So y'all know that I am real big on preheating pans or boilers or pots, whatever you call them. And this titanium cookware, I've found that it does better when you do preheat it before you put your liquid in it. So this is our 9-quart pot, and I have used and I did not put this in the recipe, but I'm telling y'all that I did use a 32-ounce box of low-sodium chicken broth because I wanted it to have some taste besides the ham. And this is low salt, and the ham base is a lot of salt. Now, some of your grocery stores may carry this. I've heard several people say in the international aisle around the Mexican foods that you can buy a ham base. Walmart carries this brand, but our local Walmarts didn't have the ham base. They carry the beef and the chicken, and this is better than bouillon. But I ordered this from Amazon. I've never seen ham bouillon cubes. Have you?
I don't remember that I do. I have the chicken like that.
Yeah, I do too, and I have the beef. But I ordered this, and you can tell it's a real, and it's very strong. It smells just like ham, and it's kind of like a paste. When you say that was about the consistency,
yes. And you keep it in the refrigerator.
Yes, after you open it, you need to keep it in the refrigerator. And I used about 2 tablespoons full of this. I got my chicken broth hot, got it boiling, and then I used the put that in here and just whisked it together. And Mary, I'm going to let you taste of it. Now, I don't want you to burn your tongue, but I have not put any salt in this at all. I did put some fresh cracked black pepper, but I have not put any salt in it. And we're also going to put ham in it, real ham, and that will have some salt in it. And that's why I'm being very particular about the salt.
Plenty salt.
And it doesn't need any salt. No. I'd already tasted of it, but I just kind of wanted to get Mary's opinion. Yeah. And if y'all will see this, this is the 32 ounces of the chicken broth. And I also keep water hot back here on my back burner. That's hot. I need a pot holder. And I always do that when I'm working with anything that needs liquid. I keep this is just plain water, and I added probably about 4 more cups of hot water to this. So this is more than just the 32 ounces. And I will tell you that I will add this to it also because you need lots of liquid when you start cooking the dumplings. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. Mary, if you just take that whisk for me, please, and stir that.
Smells delicious.
It's going to cut down on the salt because I am adding just plain water.
Yeah, it's delicious. That broth is.
Thank you. But keep in mind when you put your ham in there, that's going to add more salt to it because ham is also naturally salty because it's usually cured. And how do they cure it? They cure it with salt. So, and we'll show you the ham in a minute. I guess I need to go ahead and set it out of the refrigerator, and I'll show them. This is 2 pounds of ham that I have just cut.
Now, did you buy the sliced ham, or did you buy the whole ham?
I'm going to show them the package. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. In the recipe, I put 2 to 3 inches. Well, my sister said, they need to be a little bit smaller, so I didn't change the recipe. It was already posted. I did these in about inch cubes, and I'm going to brown this. This is fully cooked ham, but I am going to brown it because, to me, things just taste better with the sear on them, and that's my opinion. If you don't want to sear it, you don't have to, but I am going to sear this, and we'll do that when we start getting the dumplings started.
Okay.
And then I've got my stuff over here for my cornbread. And this is about 2.5 cups of self-rising cornmeal, about 3/4 cup of flour, some baking powder, about a big tablespoon of baking powder. And I put salt and pepper in my cornbread. So a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And I just whisk that together. And I'll put some eggs and milk in it, but I'm going to wait on that. So we're going to move back to the counter. Okay. I'll show you the ham package, and then we're going to get these dumplings rolled out because we want them to set just a minute before we start putting them in here. And I'm going to turn my burner up. So I want that to be fully boiling, what they call a full rolling boil. And I know some of you may not can understand my accent.
That's B-O-I-L.
Boil. So if you see a recipe that says a full rolling boil, I think a lot of the old recipes used to say that, didn't they, Mary?
Yeah, that's the way they would word it.
That means a boil that you can't stir down. It's
Right.
going to keep boiling no matter how you stir it. And then once you get your dumplings in there, you're going to reduce the burner, reduce the heat, so it doesn't boil over on you. Okay, so let me...
So Linda, do you
again.
cut when you do your dumplings? Do you cover once you put the in there? Do you cover them or not?
Some people say cover them, some people
Yeah.
don't. I'm
Yeah.
not going to cover mine.
Okay, I didn't know.
And you probably do yours, but
No,
I'm
but
not
I don't
going
make
to.
homemade dumplings, Linda. The church does on our fall fest.
Do they cover them? Probably.
They do. They
Okay.
do. But everybody, like I said, the church's recipe is a different recipe, Linda, than yours.
Okay.
And I won't give that away because that is a special church recipe. So I don't give that away.
Okay,
Theirs
so
is different.
I want a lot of flour on this mat. And one thing about dumplings, you want the extra flour that's on your mat or that is on your dumplings. That's just going to help thicken the broth. And I'm going to use my bench scraper here to pick them up. I actually was going to get something to put over that, but
Did you talking about to cover it or to put on the
put the dumplings on.
Do you want parchment paper or do you just
I
put
think-
flour on this?
I think, no, I want something on it. Maybe
Okay.
just that cheap foil down
Okay,
there. Just tear
okay.
off a big piece, Mary, if
Okay.
you don't mind. I appreciate it. And to completely cover the tray. Now, I'm using my bench scraper here to just get this out. If I'd have had the...
Are you going to put foil in between the layers, or is it just going to be one layer?
It'll be
it's
more
gonna
than one layer,
That's what I
but
thought.
yeah, just leave the foil out in case
Okay.
we need it again. Just leave it out, Mary.
Oh, okay. That's something different that they do too. But like I said, the recipes, when it's different recipes, you do use different procedures. You know.
Yeah, you do. Now again, you want to keep your flour canister here because you're going to be incorporating more flour in this because it's sticky. It's a sticky dough, and my hands are clean for any of the sanitary police out there.
I'm not going to be picking it up, Emma. I just got through rubbing my
I
eyes.
think the bench scraper,
Yeah,
we'll,
I'll wash
we'll
my
use
hands
that to
again.
pick it up with, Mary.
Okay.
Make sure you keep plenty of flour under your pastry mat too.
My eyes, it's allergies, and they just run.
I know there was several in Mississippi that was dealing with that, which is very common this time of year.
Yeah, it is with me too. Get a little flour on that. Didn't stick, but
Okay. Now I don't want these real thick. In fact, I could have divided this dough, but I hate dividing dough because when you do, it seems like it's stretchy and then you can't ever roll it.
yeah.
So I'm just going to pat it out kind of with my hands and roll it out. And once I get this cut, then I can
Roll the rest of it.
roll the rest of it up. This is an old Wilton roller. I know there's lots of them you can get online, but I'm going to. I'm just going to kind of
Okay.
do a line through here,
Okay.
so I kind of know where to stop at.
Put this flour on this.
And if there's some of them that's not shaped exactly like the others are, exactly the same size, I'm not going to fret over that. Dumplings is a rustic dish, and you can just, Mary, I want them cut,
Oh, okay.
like
With
about
this?
a couple of inches long crossways. Yes.
Is that
yeah?
big enough?
You don't have to be precise, just kind of a couple of inches.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. And when we drop these in the broth over there, we'll make sure they're separated. They're not sticking together.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not separating them here.
It's hot in here. I didn't turn the air conditioner on.
You might could do this quicker and better, Linda.
No,
I don't know.
I was
you
just-
probably have a routine.
I was just thinking that I would, instead of dipping that in there, I would just
Yeah,
put some
I know
flour
it.
out there because I don't
Yeah.
want to throw my canister away.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know where I was going to put the flour. I knew I should. All right, now you don't want to stick those on top of one another, do you? Or how do you do it? Do you want me to put
No,
some foil
no, we'll
on
get
there?
some more foil. We'll get some more foil on there. And it's not going to matter if these, you know, if they do stick together, we're not going to fret about that either because they're going to, okay, Mary, you can get all those and then I will get some more rolled out. This makes a pretty good pot. If it's just one or two people and you think that's just way too much for my household, we'll just have the recipe.
Yeah,
you know, that
right.
it's very easy to have.
I'm keeping plenty flour on when I pick those dumplings up. So if they get on top of one another, that flour is going to prevent them from sticking.
Okay, I'm just going to roll this out again. Used to worry about, oh, you're putting too much flour on there, you're putting too much flour on there. But in this case, you're not, because like I said, it's just going to help thicken that broth, and it will just make it better.
It's different from pie crust.
Yeah,
you know,
it
where
is.
you
Where
put
you
too
don't
much
want
flour.
to work
Yeah.
too much flour in it,
Right.
or cookies.
Right.
You know, if you're working flour with cookies, you don't want to just keep adding flour because it's going to make it tough. But with dumplings, this is a little bit different. I'm trying not to slide this flour off on the floor. I
Yeah.
came home to a clean house. The yard was mowed. Supper was cooked. And that was kind of nice coming home from Mississippi with all that done.
Yeah. That would have been nice. I should say that was nice for you.
Yeah, it was.
I was thinking about myself when I said that.
Okay. Oh, I was going to show y'all the package of ham that I got. This is Owen's fully cooked ham. It's a 2-pound package and it's called ham steaks. And I'll get a little bit closer to the camera to show y'all, and I want to check my broth too to make sure it's boiling real good. And I'm going to turn the air conditioner on because I'm fixing to turn my oven on.
Okay.
So it's just Owen ham steaks, and it's a 2-pound package, and I don't remember what they cost. I think it was like $5 or $6 or something.
That's what I was wondering, if it was ham steaks or
Yeah,
off
it's
of a
ham
whole
steaks.
ham.
Now, I did buy another package this morning, but it was not fully cooked ham.
Yeah.
And all I'm going to do when I'm browning it, because it is cooked, all I got to do is just brown it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to turn the oven on. And I'm going to turn the air conditioner on.
Linda's hot-natured. It's fine with me.
Woo! It gets hot in here quick when you got the burners on and when you're working and when you're fixing to turn the oven on.
I'll clean this up.
Don't worry about that, Mary. We'll get that later. Now, I have seen my mama roll out a mini dumpling. That was something that she always cooked. Okay.
Yeah, Mama did. She sure did. I'm going to
So,
throw this in the trash, but I'm going to have to go in yonder to do it.
well, you can just leave it there, Mary. That's fine. We'll do cleanup later. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and start
So now you're coming over here. I got to wash
Yes.
my hands, and then I'll move that camera.
I'm going to be over here. And I think we're both going to kind of work on this end, Mary.
Okay.
Once I get the skillet hot, I'm going to put the ham in there and let you kind of watch it while I'm mixing up the cornbread real quick.
Okay, you going to put the dumplings in there before I start the ham?
Once it starts boiling,
Okay.
good, yes, we
Okay.
are going to start putting the dumplings in there because they got to cook about 20, 25 minutes. So we want to do that first. You're right. And I'm trying to think, probably just tongs
Okay.
to,
I'll move your dumplings
to
over
turn
here.
the ham with. Is that what you?
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be
you wanna
fine.
use?
Or spatula, either one. I don't know. Whatever you want. I guess that's where you wanted it.
Yeah. Okay. Once that skillet gets hot, I'm
Okay.
going to add a little bit of
Okay,
oil
so
to
you've
it.
got this for your cornbread.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
haven't started that yet. I'm going to do that in a minute.
Okay, so you're warm. You got it warm.
I've got the skillet for the ham warming. Or no, I don't. I got the wrong one warming. I did that the other day. I hadn't had the stove at 20 years. You'd think I know which burner is which. Okay, so I don't know if y'all can see or not, but the broth is boiling really good, and you probably can't see it.
Now on this ham, are you putting any kind of oil?
I
and
am.
thing?
I've got the
Okay.
oil over
Okay.
there.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go ahead and add some more liquid to this.
Okay.
Because I don't think that's going to be enough.
So about how much more broth?
I'm going to add probably about 2.5 more cups to it.
Okay.
And that is probably going to be a total of about 6 cups of water, the 32 ounces of low sodium chicken broth. So you're gonna need a lot of broth.
And how much of the ham paste did you put in there?
I put 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons.
Yes,
Okay.
I put 2 tablespoons full. We'll get this. I'm gonna turn this up on high because I want this boiling real
Okay.
good before I start dropping the
Okay.
dumplings. And once this gets hot, it's starting to get hot, you can pour a little bit of oil in there,
Okay.
and we'll start the browning that. And I think
Is it
those.
hot enough? Or no, I don't think
No,
it's hot
it's
enough.
not.
Yeah.
I think those paper plates are double, Mary, so you can
Okay.
just rotate them and put the cooked
one-
ham back on that.
Okay.
Which the pork is done. It's not
Yeah.
like you're putting cooked pork
Right.
on a raw surface, but I still want to rotate them. Just to be
Well, I mean, you want me to use a plate underneath it?
Yeah,
You've got it
yeah,
doubled.
that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so our broth is boiling. We're going to start dropping these dumplings. Now they're going to sink, but that's okay because they'll come back up.
Let me put the camera where they can see what you're doing.
And like I said, dumplings are rustic. Now, I started saying fine restaurants, but I don't think fine.
You got that back one.
Yeah, I turned it off. I don't think fine restaurants would be cooking dumplings anyway, but they might. I don't know.
Well, I wonder how Cracker Barrel does theirs. Because they have dumplings, and you like their dumplings.
I have no idea how they do them.
If they, home make them, back there from scratch.
I'm not sure. I don't know if they
I would
make them
think they
from
would.
scratch or if they come in frozen,
That's possible.
and they do it
Yeah.
like that. I smell a burner that's
yeah, no, I
burning.
smell something. Oh,
Must
something.
be something under one of them.
Yeah.
I have probably maybe not the world's best hearing and the world's best smell, but I can guarantee you I'm very well blessed with both. I can hear any kind of noise, and I can about smell any kind of a smell. Okay, I'm just going to dump these under there.
Yeah.
Here, Mary, I'm going to give
What do
you
you
the
want me to
spoon. So make sure they go get
You
dumped.
just want them to kind of,
Yeah.
not stir, but just kind of
Yeah.
push them down in the broth.
You don't want them to tear up.
Right.
So you're not stirring them like you would gravy or something. Now, these are going to be pretty plump dumplings. You can roll them thinner if your family likes them thin. If you like them thick, you can roll them thicker. Some people like drop dumplings. Some people like
I don't like the drop dumplings.
Like
I want
biscuit
mine
dumplings.
thinner, because I don't.
Yeah, you probably think these are too thick.
No, they look beautiful, Linda.
So it'll make a nice pot.
Yeah.
I think this first ones that I rolled out were a little bit thinner, but that's good because they're going in last. And we thank y'all for joining us. I know y'all seen me make dumplings before, but I've never made ham dumplings. So the broth is a little different.
You make good dumplings.
Thank you. Over the weekend, there's a bunch of them in Jackson that's also watching what they eat. And I was talking to one of the guys about, because he carried those cookies, and I was talking to one of them about eating, if they were eating sweets, and they said, well, I'm trying not to, but if I'm going to eat something, I want something that's going to be worth it. And that's what I always say. If you're going to eat something sweet, eat something that makes the calories worth it. Okay. I'm going to turn this burner down just a bit and let these just cook.
I'm going to go ahead and I put probably 2 tablespoons of oil in this.
And I'm going to put some more pepper in here too. Got to have lots of black pepper in dumplings. I'll probably put more than that. And I just want a good sear on this ham.
I got to separate them. They're stuck together.
I'm going to grab my cornbread and get it over here on this
Okay.
side.
Okay.
Check this
You must have
out.
cut these steaks together too.
I did.
Stacked them. Can you?
I didn't think there was anything in the oven that was filled, but I keep smelling that. It must just be. It's probably
Something
what
was on the
I
burner.
guarantee it is. It's a popcorn kernel. Because Mike popped popcorn last night, and that's probably exactly what it is. Just a little bit more water in here in case you need it. And I need to be able to get my skillets hot, so I guess I'm just going to put them in the oven.
Okay.
Because I don't have a burner to heat them on.
All right. Okay. I don't know. I put 1 layer of these ham pieces in a skillet with 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And I'm just browning them, just searing them like Linda wanted.
Okay, now I'm making 2 skillets of cornbread because I'm taking 1 skillet over to my friend in Jefferson to go with the dumplings. I texted him last night.
Did you?
And he's from Arkansas, but they cook kind of pretty much like we do. And I said, do you like cornbread with your dumplings? Bread on bread, right? A lot of people never heard of that. And he said, of course I do. So I'm making him a small skillet, and then I'm making a skillet for here. And if I'd had 2 of these skillets, I would have just made 2
small ones, yeah.
But I'm not going to make that one real thick, so
Yeah,
it won't be a
yeah.
whole lot in there. So Now let me tell you something. Y'all do this, y'all don't have to watch this if you put your skillet in the oven to heat it. I've got about a tablespoon of Wesson oil and I've got about a teaspoon of bacon grease in each skillet. And it will smoke quick if you're not careful, but you want these really, really hot. I'm going to watch it. I might even ought to set this timer, Mary. I don't want to start a fire. All right. So I know everybody and their brother makes cornbread. Everybody makes it their own way. And, you know, that's exactly what I do. I make it my own way. I've already told y'all, but this is my meal, flour, baking powder, salt, and a little pepper. And I'm going to use about 2 cups of milk. And I'm actually going to break these eggs in the milk. 2 large eggs, or extra large. And I know I'm probably a little bit different than most people.
You make delicious cornbread, Linda.
But, thank you. But I'm going to mix that with a mixture.
Make sure it's blended up good.
Yeah, so I'll get the eggs blended in a little bit. We didn't actually time the dumplings, but I think they've been cooking what, near about 5 minutes?
Probably.
And it's going to take this cornbread a little bit to cook anyway. So.
Right. Now I'm going to have to turn these individually if you want them browned on both sides.
Well, I do, Mary, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay, so you see when I mix those eggs up, and again, y'all don't have to do this. This is just the way I do it in my kitchen. So you want to throw your eggs in there and mix them up. People used to mix them without a mixer. They used to mix cakes and everything without a mixer. But I have mixers and I like to use them, so I mix mine in there.
I turned this up a little bit and it's still not.
Well, that burner is smaller than the skillet.
Yeah.
And Mike switched out those burners. So if you put it on the back burner, you could, but it kind of goes up and down.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get, order a new one.
What what do you call them?
It's the Element.
Element.
I'm not an electrician, and I don't know if it's actually the burner or if it's something under that. But Mike said he'd try it and see if that works. So, do you know, Mary, if the burner is it or if it's something underneath it?
I don't know. I thought it might be this grate here, but I don't know.
That's what he thought, and that's why he changed it.
Okay. And it's not.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, okay.
When they switched yours out, did they just switch the grates out?
No, it was a fuse in the back.
Okay. Yeah.
Where mine was.
I like my cornbread kind of thin.
I do too.
So I did add probably another half a cup of water to this. Already had the milk in it. If you use buttermilk for your cornbread, that makes great cornbread too. I just didn't use buttermilk. I didn't have any, I didn't make any, but you can tell it's kind of thin. And you get this out of the way. Then I'll get those skillets out of the oven. And this. I'm just stirring these dumplings just a little bit. And you can tell those dumplings are already absorbing a lot of that broth. And if you don't want to add water like I did, and you'd rather add chicken broth or something, you can certainly do that. Is it popping on you?
A little bit.
And I'm going to put some paper towel down, Mary.
Okay.
just so I want any grease in my dumplings.
Okay.
The ham looks good. I'm going to take a bite. The ham is so good. And it is salty. That ham is very salty. Did you taste of it, Mary?
No.
And remember, no salt at all in the broth. There's salt in the dumplings, but none in the broth. Okay, there's my buzzer. Let me check my skillet. I'm going to sit here, Mary. Open it. Honestly, I don't think that's quite hot enough yet.
This ham sure smells good.
Taste of it. I think it's really good. I know you don't like to leave your cornbread sitting out long, and normally I would have the skillets ready, but they're just not quite hot enough, and I don't want to put my cornbread in a lukewarm skillet.
Am I getting these brown enough?
Yeah, those are fine, Mary. You know, I've heard Mary say this many times, and y'all probably heard her say it too. When you're cooking cornbread, you either want the skillet completely cold or you want it red hot. I'm sorry, Mary, I gave you a bad job, didn't I? I didn't know that. We're going to be popping all over the place. See how the dumplings went down?
Yeah.
You don't have to be particular about it, Mary. Just, I know I said both sides, but if it don't get browned on both sides, that's okay.
It's just I've only done a third of it so far.
I'm going to taste of this. Now, to me, personally, I would add salt to it, but the ham's not in there yet. So that's going to make it salty. So I'm still saying don't put any salt in this until you get the ham added and then check it. And you can just put the rest of that in there at one time. It don't matter if it's more than one layer on it.
It won't. They won't all brown. Put them all in there.
Yeah, just put them all in there. It'll be fine. You can stir it around with your spatula.
I got to separate the pieces. That was some thick ham.
It really, it wasn't, it was thick because I cut them together. That's why.
But they're nice size thickness though, even for single.
I'm going to check my skillet.
Oh, okay.
See if they're hot. I'm going to go ahead and put some in here. The skillet feels pretty hot. I'm going to give it a little one first. And then I'll do the big one.
Brady, he fixed his shakes last night. He drinks protein drinks in the mornings.
Oh.
And so last night he fixed them up for 4 days and put them in the refrigerator so he wouldn't have to do it in the mornings.
That was smart. Okay. Put this back in the oven. Then we'll get my other skillet out. And I would have got this a little hotter, except I'm trying to get this in the oven and get it to cooking.
Okay. Now, I have turned that burner up, so I might turn it down now since I got so many in here. More than what I did that first batch. Oh, it smells delicious.
Here, you remember when Molly was cooking for Small, she had inside water pretty much all, or maybe not in the old house, but in the house that they built, which we call the new house. She did have indoor plumbing and indoor water. And him and them always had indoor water, except when they rented that little camp house. But people that didn't, they would have to heat their water. And when I was rinsing out that bowl over there with cornbread, that's a luxury. I mean, that's when our grandparents grew up, they didn't have that. They had to get water from the well or have it in a dish pan, and you know, sometimes the bowls or something might have to sit a little while before they could clean them. Can you imagine all that cleaning, dishwashing without hot water? Maybe?
Well, Linda, I remember the old house where they had a little wash pan, a little it was that glazed. You know what I'm talking about? The pan that has the glaze.
Yeah, that cheap.
Yeah. And they had one of those in a pitcher of water sitting there in the dining room for people to wash their hands before they eat. I remember that. That was in the old house.
They always washed up.
Yeah, they washed up. Yeah.
They called everybody in to eat, and the first thing they did was wash up, and then they said the prayer.
Right.
And then everybody started eating. That's how they did.
Yeah. That old house, that's where I remember the memories of Santa Claus. Uncle Herschel was a Santa Claus. He'd come to the windows and gave us oranges or apples or something.
How many rooms was in that house, Mary?
It was
what they called the front room.
And that had a bedroom, a bed in it. And it was a living room, but it had a bed in it. Matter of fact, I think it had two beds.
I think it did.
In the living room had two beds in it, and then you go in the back, and there was a dining room and kitchen all together. And then there's a little, I don't know if you would call it a pantry. It had a freezer in it. It was next to the kitchen. This was all small. And then from the living room, there was a door that went into another bedroom that had 2 or 3 beds in it, just because it was the length of the house on that end. So it had several, and it had a door going out onto the porch too, didn't it, Linda? On that extra bedroom, it had a door going out onto the porch. It had a front porch on it, and then there's a door going into the living room / bedroom onto the porch. And it was a small house. It was a small house, but we all got in there, didn't we, Linda?
Yep, I remember the front room. I don't know that I remember the kitchen nor the...
It was just a small kitchen, very small. I remember that kitchen.
And I remember the windows because they didn't have screens on them. And they would open them. And the house, wasn't it kind of high up, Mary?
It had steps. It had steps out the back door, yes. It was just a small... They had a creek behind the house. I remember them taking clothes out back there by the creek, and that's where they would heat their big wash pots, those black wash pots with wood, and that's where they washed the clothes out from getting the water from the creek. I remember that, and also that's where they when they killed a hog, they would heat water in these big old black smut wash pots, and they'd heat the water in that, and they laid that hog down on a board with where you got burlap on it. And then they would pour that hot scalding water over that pig, and then they could scrape the hair off. And you remember that? You remember them pouring that water over them hogs?
I sure do.
And it would be all the kids would come, the children would come the day they killed a hog, because everybody would help.
Cousins and all the
Yeah.
folks, they were all there
Yeah.
to help. They sure were. Those were some good times, wasn't it?
It was some good time, good memories. We got good memories. You know, nowadays, families, they live so far apart until I feel like that they miss out on a lot of things because they're not there on an everyday life situations and times. And so I just feel like they miss out. Kids nowadays misses out because they're not around their grandparents as much as what we had the privilege of being around.
Exactly.
Because that's where you make so many memories. And you know, my kids didn't even have cousins close to their age except Linnell's kids. Yeah. Linnell's kids and my kids are close, very close today, because that was the only cousins they had, my kids. And then Linda, when I had her, all the kids had already grown, and she was the last baby, so she just didn't really have any cousins her age to hang around. Yeah, and right. And Misty didn't live as close. She did later in life, but then we moved away.
Yeah. I'm going to check one of these dumplings.
Okay.
And they're all not the same size. But I'm going to just kind of check one of them. They're almost done. They still like a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this ham in there and just kind of let that start kind of meshing with it, with the, and I'm saying meshing, M-E-S-H-I-N-G, in case some of y'all don't understand what I'm saying. You want to get those flavors combined, I guess would be the proper term to say. Don't that look good?
It does. Smells delicious.
Thank you. Table over here a little bit situated, so when we get ready to taste of it, the table's not such a mess.
I was going to go over there and wipe that off after I got this meat done, and I never did.
I thought you was busy over there. I didn't mean for you to be doing so much, but it seems
It's
like
okay.
I gave
It's all right.
a lot to do.
No, well, the dumplings is something you have to do. And then you know more about what you want. You know, Ma Lee fixed eggs and bacon or ham every morning for Paul. Every morning.
Mary, how big of a bowl do you want here?
Not a big one. Not a big
Are
one.
these little bowls here big enough?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We're going to do little bowls today. When that gets done. So, I'm going to take this pot over there. This is
Okay.
what I love about
too.
these pots. You can
I
pick them
do
up
too.
without pot holders. And y'all can see that, how yummy that looks. Love, love, love dumplings. I know who would like to have a bowl of these, or our brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They would love to have a bowl of these. Doesn't that look good?
It looks delicious.
I hope I'm not getting them scorched in the bottom. I'm trying to,
Keep them stirred.
yeah. Because they will scorch.
It's thick, yeah.
Yeah.
The dumplings are thick. The juice is thick is what I'm...
little bit more water in there. So probably all together, this probably had maybe 8, 9 cups, maybe even 10 cups of water, plus the 32 ounces of chicken broth, and then the 2 tablespoons of ham base, and fresh ground black pepper, if you like fresh cracked black pepper. And you can always check for salt after you add your ham. I guess I probably done said that twice, haven't I? Do you ever think sometimes people think, wonder if they know they already said that? Most of the time we do know it. Maybe not all the time. That extra ham in there, it
make it
definitely
salty.
makes the
Yeah.
salt level come up a little bit, but they're not too salty.
Linda, I think this is probably...
Yeah, I think it's fine, Mary.
I didn't add any more oil to it.
That's fine.
Whenever I
I
put the
didn't
other
want
in it.
oil in the
Yeah,
dumplings,
I
so
know.
that's why we didn't start out with much oil to start with. Okay, so I'm going to take another bite of that ham. You
Good.
wanna take a bite?
Looks good.
They were really good. Okay. I'm just going to add this in there. That's a lot of ham.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's
Oh,
plenty ham
absolutely. It's plenty
for
ham.
this pot?
Plenty ham.
And I actually think I'm just going to turn this on to low because I think those are done.
I think they're done too,
I'm going to
Linda.
let you try it, Mary.
I think
just
they're
to-
done.
See what you think.
Well, well, you're the one that's better judge. Why don't you try it? Because you know what you want. Because we have different opinions.
You can pretty much cut them and tell if they're done. Now, see, I think it needs just a tiny bit more
It might,
cooking.
yeah, it might do.
I
it.
didn't taste these,
Yeah,
so
it might
this
look
is a
good.
clean fork, so I'm putting these back in there. But I don't think it needs much.
Yeah.
Now I can tell you that our mamas and our grandmas, you can bet that they didn't get a new fork or a new spoon every time they tasted of something. They used the same one. But we do try to be particular, especially if we're taking this to somebody. I mean, we're particular anyway, but if we're taking it to someone, we want to make sure that, and Paul is a friend of mine. I've known him for years, and he owns one of my favorite shops in town, and he was
Do you ever show them your eyeglass case that I got you?
No, I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't.
Sorry.
I think I know where it's at. Let
That's
me go
okay.
in there and see. Would you just kind of make sure that those don't stick, Mary?
It is thick, but it smells good. Well, this bowl here is not going to cause it to stick as easy as some boilers. But if you're cooking this in a regular stainless steel with it, and it's not nonstick, you definitely have to watch it closely, especially if you add the extra flour like she did on the dumplings. There's just extra little bit of flour on them. You have to be very careful because they will scorch. And if they ever scorch, the best way to do to keep from that scorched taste getting into all your dumplings is to change pots.
Yep.
If you try to take that scorch off and your dumplings in there, all your dumplings are going to taste that way. So you need to change boilers once you ever scorch them.
And did you tell them if it's a stainless steel boiler?
I
it will
sure did.
scorch?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, this is one of my birthday presents that Mary got me. Thank you very much, Mary. I love it.
I forgot to go pick it up before her birthday at her party. I gave her something else too, but that's an eyeglass case.
Eyeglass case, isn't that?
It's a Brighton.
Isn't that neat? I just love it. And you know what? I have an apology to Mike
Why?
because I thought he threw something away and it's in here.
Oh, really? You just found it, didn't you?
That little stuff that I try to cover up them red spots on my face sometimes.
And you
I
found
just
it.
knew he threw it away,
Yeah.
so I owe him an apology.
Did
and
you?
I knew it was my fault if he did, if I left it, but that's where it says.
Is that right? Well, I'm glad you found it. She told me yesterday. She said he threw it away. He threw it away.
He
But-
does throw stuff
Yeah,
away
I
all
know.
the time.
I know.
All the time. But when I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong. So I do owe him an apology for that. And it's not even, it wouldn't have been a catastrophe, but I just hate losing something. Don't
Yeah.
you, Mary?
Yes, I do.
I literally
Yes, I
hate
do.
losing something. I've come home without one of the tips on this stand, and it just irritated me to death. I
It
don't
was
know.
off at the church. It wasn't on there
Maybe
at the
it's in
church.
the car.
It's
Maybe
probably in the
that's where
church
it's
because
at.
when I was sitting up at the church, I said, "Well, where's that other stand?" It
Maybe
wasn't on
it's
there.
in the car.
Maybe it is.
I'll look in the
because
car
it
and
wasn't
see if
in the
it's-
it wasn't in the church, and that's the only place we used it. Was
Yeah.
at the church.
Edward and I have always been, and Mary and Charles too, but we have always been, we were so particular about our toys when we were little, remember?
Mhm. Yes, I do remember.
Very
Yeah.
particular. And I've always been that way. And I when you take a stand apart, it's hard to get them back together
it
right.
is. It is.
And because I had a lot of stuff in the car, I had to stand a certain way. I'm sure that's where that
Yeah,
sits,
it's
probably
probably-
under the seat in
yeah.
the car. And I'll go out there and look in
Yeah.
a little bit. But I didn't want it to puncture my seat, so we stuck the one end of it inside of a paper towel and put a towel between that and the seat. Because
Look
I was
inside that
afraid-
paper roll of paper towel too.
Oh, it
Didn't it
can-
one time? Didn't you stick that in the bottom,
I
or was
did.
that the other end? I don't know which end it was, but you stuck one end and rolled
That
paper
was
towels.
the connected
Was it?
end,
Okay.
not the bottom.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm definitely, since I found my other thing, maybe I'll find my
I hope you do, but I noticed it at the church that it wasn't on there inside the
check my
church.
cornbread. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bump this up
Okay.
to 450. I start out baking at 425, and then I bump it up to 450.
On your cornbread?
Yeah, and I don't think that I had that timer set when it first went in there, so I'm gonna put it on 450 for the rest of the baking time. I like crisp cornbread.
I do too.
And
I
you
like
know,
thin cornbread too.
She may not like mine because
Yeah.
it might be too thick.
No.
But
I don't
anyway,
think so.
I'm not going to eat but a bite of it. I did eat that little tiny cornbread muffin
Did you?
at Cracker Barrel.
Oh,
When
okay.
we
Okay.
ate Sunday lunch with Edward and Debbie, they took us out to eat. And that little tiny, it was like probably, what, a fourth a cup of dumplings?
Yeah, probably.
It wasn't half a
much.
cup.
Yeah, it was a little
So
bit.
that was my splurge for the weekend. And I think I've done real good. I don't know if I've ever traveled.
She don't eat much at all. She hardly eats anything.
And stopped at a fast food restaurant and didn't eat. Well, we stopped at Chick-fil-A going, and I did not get anything. Nothing.
I did. I got me some chicken nuggets.
So I did really good on my trip. It's harder when you're traveling
To not eat, yeah.
and stay in your routine.
Right.
But I carried my boiled eggs with me, so we had boiled eggs in the hotel. I carried them in a cooler, and
Sliced apples.
yeah, we had apples and had banana. Had a banana. I can't even talk. What else did we take for snacks? You had the cheese crackers.
Yeah, I had cheese crackers. I can eat a cheese cracker at night before I take my last pill of the night, and that's all I need. I just need something in my stomach before I take a pill.
I'm going to go ahead and turn these off,
Okay.
and this is very, very thick.
Okay.
I'm going to put the rest of this water in here
Okay.
just to thin it down, just because they will even get thicker
Yeah,
after
the longer
they
you
set.
cook 'em,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm just going to add just the rest of that water. So I did put quite a bit of water in this. And we've been on an hour. Do you think that we need to taste these and just get the cornbread later, or because
Whatever
it's
you
like
wanna do.
it's like a little bit more time to finish
Okay.
cooking?
Well, they don't like much. They look
No,
like
they
they're
don't
getting
like a
brown.
whole lot. They don't like a lot. So maybe we'll just wait another minute or two.
What was that timer for?
The oven bumped up to 450.
Oh, okay. I can have my oven on 350 and I bump it up to 375. It never even moves.
Really?
It just dings right off. So that makes me wonder. And I told that man, that service guy, that my oven wasn't working right, and he said it was, but I don't think it is. Because when you up the temperature, it should come on.
Yeah.
But it don't. It just dings like it's already that temperature. And I know that's not true.
I guess we can dip these out.
Okay.
This spoon here. We don't want this one because it's got holes in it. We don't want to start any fires today. What was your favorite part of the Mississippi trip, Mary?
Going to church. I enjoyed the church service so much, and just all the people were just so nice. I enjoyed the nice visit in the car with Linda.
And seeing Edward and Debbie. And
Seeing Edward and Debbie, and I loved seeing them. The family, that's always number one, really. And then just seeing all the people that we used to go to church with. I mean, they're all grown now, but they were kids. Tim Cooper I was telling him the other night, I said he was around 7 years old because we lived right behind him.
I said a baby
and I knew
in church, he was 6 or 7 years old when we first went there. But I love church. I loved our church service. But I think I would have to say my favorite was Saturday, getting to sing with Paula and Pam, and also the Gordons and Becky and
getting to see our followers. Yeah. That was another high point.
Sister Pat Douglas and our followers that came to watch us, Linda and Madeline and Susan was the other one.
It was Shirley, Madeline, and Linda.
Okay. Yeah. So that was very nice too.
Yeah.
But, it was a good trip. The Lord kept His hand on us, so we didn't have any problems, and it was nice not to be there one day or 2 days and leave the next. So that extra day really did help us a lot.
Yes, it did.
It did.
So
I've got. Actually, I'm gonna turn the burner.
That's
off.
going to be so hot. Why don't we go ahead and
Okay.
put our dumplings in a bowl, because when I start to taste them, they're going to be so hot I'm not going to be able to eat it.
Go ahead. Do you want a spoon to eat?
Yes. I want a spoon. Don't you eat it with the spoon?
Yes, that's yours, and I'll get mine, Mary. I don't love much.
I don't either.
I am going to get a little, but I'm not going to get a lot.
I want some of that broth. I'm going to have cornbread with it. Here.
Well, you didn't get much. You
That's
didn't
all
even
I
get
wanted.
as much as... Did you get some ham?
Yeah, I got some ham. See, I got some ham. Ham and dumplings. Ooh, it tasted good. I just licked my fingers. It's good.
So if you want something different and you like dumplings, then this is definitely different than chicken and dumplings. It does have a different taste to it because you got the ham base in it. Do you want some pepper?
No, I don't need any pepper. Well, you know what? I might. That's about the only thing, Linda, that I add pepper to is the dumplings.
Okay.
And I do add.
I'm gonna get this fresh cracked pepper here.
Okay. I do add pepper to my dumplings.
And I'll put a little bit more on those too. Ooh.
Steam up your glasses, doesn't it?
I was gonna do that. Okay, that's just a little one there, and I'm gonna actually leave it up there. Would you hand me that other pot holder, Mary? I'm
Yeah.
afraid that this
Gonna go
might
through.
not work. Yeah, I'm gonna use two. If you get the oven door for me, please.
Now you have to turn the oven off.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and turn the camera around.
Not quite as brown as I would get it, but I think it's close
I
enough.
think it looks good. Perfect. Perfect.
Oven's off, dumplings are off, right?
Yes.
All the burners are off.
Yes.
Okay, let me get you a bowl of water.
I've got some I brought with me, but then I left it. I guess I left it in the car.
Okay. Do you want butter for the cornbread?
No, I don't. I don't add butter to my cornbread.
Okay.
Do you do?
I'm not, but I normally would, but
Do you?
I'm not now. Okay.
Do you cut it? How do you cut it? I cut mine from the corner.
Like this?
Yeah, but you do it however you want to cut it.
Thank you, sweet Jesus, for this good food, or at least I sure hope it's going to be good.
Thank you, Lord. I'm ready to taste it.
Cornbread, Mary.
Go ahead and get you some.
Well, I'm just going to get a little tiny piece. Big splurge for me.
Thank you, Jesus. That's good.
I love crispy cornbread.
I do too. Good cornbread.
Thank you.
That's delicious. So if you're hungry for ham dumplings, now you got a recipe and know how to make it. It's delicious.
Is it hot?
It's hot.
And you sure got that ham flavor.
Mm-hmm. Plenty salt, you know. It's delicious.
So I think the most important thing about this is just watch your salt. If you're using the ham base, or whether it's this brand or another brand, now I can't speak to another brand, but stands to reason that any brand of ham base would be salty.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because it's basically
chicken broth is salty
yeah,
too.
It's a bumped up flavor of ham. So
Yeah.
and ham is naturally salty. So thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for hanging in here with us. I know we've been over an hour today, but hope that y'all have a wonderful rest of the week. And we'll be back Monday. I guess I'll be cooking here Monday.
Linda be cooking Monday.
By myself, and then we'll be together Tuesday and Wednesday. So hope everyone has a great weekend. Don't forget to count your blessings, and don't forget the 52 weeks of giving. It's been such a blessing to us to be able to do this. And you know, most people that are independent, they don't want anyone giving them anything. You know, even sometimes people in need don't want any handouts, which, you know, that's how we were raised. You work for what you got. You didn't get handouts. But you know, on the other hand, the Bible said it's more blessed to give than it is to receive, and it gives us great joy to give. And I think sometimes, y'all may not agree with me on this, and that's okay, but I think sometimes we are put in the place of need to see how it feels to be on the other end of it.
Everyone, I think at one time or another, Shelley was saying something about that this morning, you know, that she just hates to be the person that receiving instead of giving, because she just doesn't like to be, you know, in that situation. But anyway,
so remember, right, I'm sorry, Mary, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you are in that place today and someone blesses you, always remember that there'll be one day that you'll be able to return that favor, maybe not to the same person. And I don't even believe that's the way it works. No. But I do believe that there comes a time in people's life that have been in need that the Lord allows them to be able to give back to. So thank you again. God bless you. We love y'all so much. And thank you very much from the bottom of our heart for following us, for sharing our page, and for loving and supporting us, and for praying for us.
Don't forget to count your blessings.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.